guys, what's going on? This is Roth. I'm here at New York Comic Con with the awesome John Schnepp, director of The Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
What's going on, Roth?
So, what happened?
A lot of things. I got in on Thursday, and no, New York Comic Con's great. What happened with the Superman Lives? You'll have to see the movie to find out the whole answer. But a lot of things happened. It was a great project, and I've been uncovering a lot of things by talking with Kevin Smith and Tim Burton, a lot of the cast and crew, and a lot of the production designers, and seeing a lot of amazing artwork of what they were trying to do and what they were getting ready to do. So, I'm really pumped to share that with everyone.
This is you showed about 20 minutes of extra footage today of the regeneration suit. It's really neat, you guys. Like, this is something that I think you're going to want to see. Probably not all of that sequence is going to make it into the final film, but maybe a little extra, DVD extra.
Yeah, like I've been going to different Comic Cons and showing like roughly about a 20-minute clip, which actually in the film is 6 minutes. So it's an additional, like these extended cuts will be all on like the Blu-ray or the yellow cube in the future. You touch your, whatever.
Which, if you're
however
a
you get it.
Kickstarter supporter, you're probably going to get.
Yeah, you get the yellow cube. So however you're going to see these extra scenes, I don't know yet, but they'll be available next year.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is the internet. There's a lot of speculation, as we know. What do you think the crux of why things fall apart all the time in Hollywood, as we know? This seemed like it was getting pretty far in terms of development. What killed it?
Well, it's interesting with this film. I mean, as you know, many films and TV shows go to different stages. There's a pilot made. Sometimes, they have a script order or things, and things just fall apart and you don't end up ever seeing it. Well, something like this film had multiple different things happen relatively within the same, 2 weeks. And that's what killed the film. I don't want to give it all away, but there were you'll always hear one or two reasons. This one had a whole series of strange things that happen all roughly at the same time.
It was just kind of a domino effect.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, this was a hugely successful Kickstarter campaign. Talk about a little bit about what that's been like for you. Were you surprised by the reaction?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I mean, I ran a Kickstarter early in 2013, just really it was like a litmus test for me to see if hey, I'd like to make this. I wonder if anybody else is interested in this subject. And obviously a lot of people are interested in it. So I had never made a documentary before. And I was like, yeah, I'll have it done by Comic-Con, 2013. Totally wrong. So it's didn't realize how long it takes to actually interview people and put together this stuff. So
and even just to get to them, it took a while to get to Burton.
Yeah, it was I think that was from actually doing the Kickstarter to Burton was I think it was 16 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was I'm still interviewing people. I just interviewed 3 people last week, and we're editing. We have a good 2.5-hour rough cut with tons of extras and Blu-ray features and behind the scenes, behind the scenes. So it's it is really this kind of crazy puzzle we're putting together. I had written out kind of what I was calling a paper cut, which is Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, a storyline of the documentary so that we can always follow how we're moving along the story.
Yeah.
So that's kind of helping us keep it all in check. So
passion project for you for a lot of years. You followed it. You collected sort of the artwork and all of the conceptual art. What was the biggest surprise so far that you've learned while making this film about that film?
The biggest surprise for me was just how much they had gotten done.
Yeah.
Especially with the production design. The stuff that's on the internet right now is literally, I was saying 5, maybe 4% of what they actually did for the whole movie. It's so beautiful.
I was shocked watching that footage at how far the design work went for just the regeneration suit.
Yeah.
Which is the suit that, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the concept art or whatever, but it's the one that lights up. It lights up for a reason.
Yeah, there's clips of it on YouTube. You could see a few clips that were put up there, and I've got a lot more of that footage. But yeah, I mean, there's Krypton, there's Brainiac, there's Doomsday, there's Lex Luthor, there's all the different buildings, there's Superman and his different outfits. There's all these different amazing concept designs done by all these different artists. So it's really fun to my head exploded when Tim Burton let me have these amazing drawings. So.
Do you think there is any film today that's in the superhero genre that even approaches the level of kind of insanity of what this film was trying to do? Or is this the day that it could actually happen?
You know what? It's strange to. I do wonder about some of the films, like Jodorowsky's Dune. That has been answered, and I was very happy. I love that documentary. I've heard about Spider-Man 4. They had the Vulture suit and the Vultress suit, and they had they got pretty far with John Malkovich. So some sweaty ought to make the Spider-Man 4 behind the scenes or whatever. But a lot of these. They get to a little bit of a certain point. I think there was Justice League. I think it was called Immortal. That that George Miller was going to direct, and they got pretty far with like making some of the outfits. They had costume tests. They had everybody cast, so that goes pretty far. You know,
but nothing that's actually gone into production. I don't
well,
think.
yeah. I mean, for me, there was Darren Aronofsky's Batman Year One. There's all these movies. They had a Hulk. They had a Fantastic Four. There's all these like soft boots. James Cameron, Spider-Man. There's a whole bunch of them, but none of them really got me as interested as this one. Just because this was gonna, at least how I looked at it, was gonna be so different. And then the more I looked at, as I've been doing the documentary, it truly was going to be significantly different, as like some of these other films might have just, happened.
All right. Well, this is the year of the talking raccoon, so you never know what could happen today. I want to ask about Nick Cage really quickly because he's the one guy that you haven't been able to talk to yet. We interviewed him recently and asked a little bit about the film. He seemed like a little broken down by the internet, and I
Right.
just want to get your perspective on that.
Well, over the years, obviously Nick Cage is one of the biggest, was one of the biggest comic book nerds you can imagine. He had thousands of comics. He had collected comic books. He had Action Comics #1. He named his kid Kal-El. You couldn't get a bigger geek to play Superman who also won an Oscar. It's like mind-boggling that people make fun of this guy. He's an incredible actor. He would have done an incredible job. That's my opinion on it. But, a lot of other people are like, it's got to be a square jaw, this and that. It's like, why don't you relax and make your own movie? I don't know that. I kind of think he would have done a great job. Where he's at now, because of the internet, him being a living meme, basically.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of get it. I was like, well, if every day you woke up and your head was on a cat, or you were on somebody's stomach, or like some people are like making fun of you from some movie, it's like that's got to wear on you for a while. And like people made fun of him from that one photo from that Superman picture, and I actually found the footage, and I was like, wow, there's a story behind that picture that no one even knows about. So it's like, I think I understand where his statements are now, where he's like, I've moved on from that, but it would be great to talk to him about this,
It seems like what he basically said was like, whatever I say, it's going to get twisted, essentially by internet commentary. So that's what it felt like to me. But what can we do to get him to talk to you? We need him to talk to you because you're behind this film, man.
Yeah, Nick Cage, you got to know that, you were going to be one of the most amazing Supermans, and that it didn't happen, that's not the point of this documentary. It's what it could have been. And so we've talked to everyone, including Kevin Smith and Tim Burton. We'd love to talk with you and get your perspective on what you were going to do with the Superman character and Clark Kent, because I know it was going to be special. So
Tell the people where they can see more from The Death of Superman Lived, what happened.
you can go to @TDOSLWH on Twitter and Instagram, and you can go to The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, at Facebook, and you can follow me. I'm just John Schnepp, JONSCHNEPP, and check it out. That's where all the stuff is going to be online.
Schnepp, thank you for coming by. And for all things Comic-Con, keep it locked right here to IGN.